As the city plans new ways to shrink Boston's output of waste, some local residents have been helping the rest of us salvage and recycle. That's the goal of a series of Fixit Clinics for household items and electronics started by members of the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council. To tell us about the project is the organizer of the JP Fixit Clinic, Jonathan Krones. Thank you very much for being with us, Jonathan.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You've been doing this for a little while, Jonathan, but take me back. What got this all started?
Well, I broke my phone. I plugged it in to a bad cable and out came the charging pins, and didn't want to throw it out. Didn't want to spend the many hundreds of dollars to buy a new phone. So I started looking for resources to help me repair this, and came across a couple of great resources. A really interesting company out of California called iFixit that provides repair guides and replacement parts. And this model of a community repair event, which I read about in a newspaper, and I went to one at MIT. I poked around some of the information resources in my neighborhood in Jamaica Plain and found that there were other folks interested in starting one of these community repair activities.
Well, there are some household items and electronics that we do put out in the trash because I guess we have no alternative. But what about the ones that you can do something about? What are we talking about here?
I have to say, most of the things that we think aren't fixable probably are. I mean, we often see lots of lamps, old lamps, things with wiring, things that die and you just don't really think they're fixable. That's all eminently repairable. Even electronics, things with circuit boards, where we've sort of been told that this stuff isn't fixable. It really is. At the bottom of your phone, if you look at it, there are some little screws. Well, you can unscrew those and open up your phone and replace the damaged parts.
What's the real reason for doing it? Is this to help people save some money, and some people really do need to do that, or is it something else?
I have to say it's all of the above, right? It is definitely, as you opened the segment, the environmental concern. That was one of the things that got me first interested in reducing waste. But certainly, a $5 or a free repair that saves a lot of money over having to buy a new item. We've also found that there's a great community kind of spirit that gets built. We have folks coming together from across the neighborhood who might not have had the opportunity to interact before. And we have now been spreading throughout the Boston area. And so we've really been developing some wonderful community relations throughout the greater Boston area.
Walk me into the flavor of that, at least at your recent clinic. What was that like with people showing up and bringing their stuff and chatting away while it's
Yeah. Well, I have to say, one of the most wonderful things is the network of repair coaches, Fixit coaches that we have. Folks of all ages and backgrounds who come together regularly. We've all become close friends, and we show up at each other's, the events that the other folks help to run. And so that's really nice to be able to see each other and learn from each other. But then when community members come in, you often have kids bringing things that they love, or maybe someone brings in an heirloom. We often get heirlooms, and people, it's been in the closet for a long time. And so there's some hope. And they come in and sit down with one of us, and we walk them through how we might repair this item, and you can start to see it dawn on them that it's within their power to actually bring this back to life.
I've tossed out quite a few coffee machines in my time. I wondered, do they always have to be thrown out, or could something have been done about at least some of them?
Definitely, we would have loved to help you unscrew the base and try to diagnose what might have gone wrong. Maybe there was some corrosion on a coil somewhere. Oftentimes, lots of times, toasters seem like they're broken because you get crumbs in the way of some important mechanism. Just a little bit of, a little burst of air will clear that right up.
This is BNN News. We're talking with Jonathan Krones from the JP Fixit Clinic. Jonathan, what about the environmental impact here? This is not stuff that we throw out in huge bags week after week. Does this really add up in some important way?
I have to say, I think it does. So on the margin, in any individual event, you're probably right that the amount of material that we're diverting from landfill probably isn't that great. But what we're trying to do here is develop a culture of repair so that throwing out this item and then buying a new one isn't the first option, but rather it's after we've sort of exhausted repair options. And I have to say, the environmental impact of disposing this, so there's certainly impacts there, but really the bigger part is the avoided manufacture of something new. The embodied resources and embodied carbon that goes into making electronics in particular can be quite substantial.
You're also making a point about digital right to repair. Explain that.
Yeah, so there's actually a bill that has been introduced in both houses, in the State House. It has 77 co-sponsors, and this is modeled off of the auto right to repair, which was passed here in the Commonwealth 5 or 6 years ago. This would require manufacturers of household electronics, kitchen appliances, things like that, to make available for purchase replacement parts, the information and the tools and the diagnostic information that they already make available to their authorized repair services. They would be required to make that available to owners of the products. Currently, these manufacturers hold a monopoly on this, which makes it very difficult for the owners of the products to make any repair activities, and it's an anti-competitive action against third-party repair as well. So what this really is opening up the marketplace for some more competition in the repair market.
Finally, Jonathan, if people want to help out or find out when the next clinic's going to happen, you got something online they can check out?
Yeah, there's a couple of resources. We can go to fixitclinic.org. That will take you to more information about repair activities, community repair activities in the greater Boston area and around the country. And also, if you're interested in learning more about digital right to repair and even contacting your representative, you can go to massachusetts.repair.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Jonathan Krones from JP Fixit Clinic. Up ahead, the report from Dorchester with Jennifer Smith.